Hi, everyone. This is Misty Woods with the Department of Education, and today's topic is going to be contracting with a food service management company. Let's start out by understanding the difference between a vended meal contract and a food service management contract. A vended meal contract includes the procurement of cooked food. The vendor drops off the prepared food either in bulk or individual meals. The SFA staff at the site handles the service of food to students as well as the point of service, etc. The vendor provides no services to the SFA. A food service management company includes the procurement of food and services. While each contract could be different, typically the FSMC will cook and serve the food, handle the point of service, clean up, etc. The services provided by the FSMC are up to the SFA. All SFA and sponsors can procure cooked food as long as procurement regulations are followed. Charter schools are allowed to contract with private for-profit food service management company for student meals. SFAs can use the food service management company contract as a vended contract, but it is not required. The advantage to using the food service management company contract is that you are assured that the contract meets USDA guidelines. Let's discuss the responsibilities of the sponsor. The SFA is responsible for ensuring that the procurement of a food service management company follows all USDA regulations as well as state regulations. Regardless of the dollar value, food service management company contracts must be competitively bid using the prototype provided by LDOE's Division of Nutrition Support. All SFAs must use the prototype for the year that is designated in the prototype. The sponsor is also responsible for completing the food service management company procurement process for the initial contract and annual renewals, overseeing the implementation of the contract to assure that the contract terms are met, monitor the performance of the food service management company at least twice each school year. For multi-site sponsors, conduct on-site reviews of meal counting and claiming procedures at all sites by February 1st of each year and developing corrective action plans as needed. The sponsor must implement a food service advisory committee composed of parents, teachers, food service management company, and students to assist with menu planning and ensure that the food service management company follows through with the menu changes, etc. There have been a number of findings on administrative reviews due to the School Food Authority not having an advisory committee meetings on a regular basis, not including parents, teachers, or students, not having documented minutes of the meetings, and not implementing recommendations from the advisory committee. The authorized representative must appoint and train determining officials and the hearing official. Assistance is available from the state agency if needed. The sponsor must distribute applications for CNP benefits and related information to parents and guardians and collect applications submitted for CNP benefits. The sponsor must administer all aspects of the meal eligibility verification process, complete and submit the monthly claim, and maintain a separate food service fund to which reimbursement and other food service revenues are posted and expenses are paid. A consultant or food service management company cannot submit claims for the SFA. The state agency strongly discourages the SFA from giving out their name and password to others to submit for them. SFAs must remember that they are 100% responsible for anything submitted in their name or submitted by someone that has been given access to their online system. We have had instances where SFA is depending on a consultant to submit the claim and the consultant does not submit it in a timely manner. The SFA loses the reimbursement, not the consultant. The determining officials of the organization are responsible for processing applications, including approval, denial, and follow-up with households to obtain complete information. The determining official enters data into the computer and maintains control of the computer system that automatically determines eligibility. The sponsor is responsible for administering the direct certification process and for notifying parents and guardians of the student's application status. Our next topic is food service management company procurement. The prototype request for proposal provided by LDOE must be utilized to procure food and services with a food service management company. The prototype must be used with no alterations, additions, or deletions. The RFP and contract approval process should begin several months before the effective date of the contract. The effective date of all contracts is recommended to be July 1 or the beginning of the school year. Contracts are written up for 1 year with the option to renew the contract for an additional 4 years, and that is from 7 CFR 210.16. All contracts end on June 30th each year. Sponsors must comply with all regulations concerning procurement. That includes 2 CFR Part 200, USDA program regulations, and that's 7 CFR Part 210, Part 215, Part 220, Part 225, Part 250, as well as other USDA guidance and instructions. The sponsor must also follow all state and local laws, regulations, and policies that are not in conflict with federal requirements. The USDA publication entitled Contracting with Food Service Management Companies, Guidance for School Food Authorities also provides guidance for contracting. The web address is at the bottom of this slide. To begin the process, download the appropriate year's RFP prototype from the Child Nutrition Program website. There is a detailed instruction guide on the CNP website to assist you in completing the RFP. Develop the 21-day meal cycle menu. Remember, the 21-day menu in the proposal must be used for the first 21 days. If the SFA allows each food service management company to submit a menu, the SFA is responsible for making sure that the menu meets the minimum requirements before awarding the contract. The state agency has added some optional requirements that an SFA can choose. The RFP can dictate the number of entree choices at breakfast and lunch, and the SFA can also choose to have 2 varieties of fruit to comprise the food component at breakfast and lunch for grades 9 through 12. Very often, state agency representatives have seen where only 1 fruit is offered. The student can take 2 fruits, but the students are not aware. The food service management company must provide signage to indicate that students can take 2 fruits or both fruits. The food service management company contract is strictly a fixed fee contract. The food service management company can only charge the number of meals served at the rate submitted in the proposal. No other fees may be charged to the sponsor for any reason. There can be no late fees, charges for meals delivered, supply costs, additional employees needed, etc. Any additional fees charged to a sponsor are unallowable and may not be paid for with child nutrition funds. Contractors shall be provided the option to submit bids for public contracts through a uniform and secure electronic interactive system. Political subdivisions shall follow the standards for the receipt of electronic bids adopted by the Office of the Governor, Division of Administration, and the Office of Information Technology, and shall make the appropriate provisions necessary for the acceptance of electronic bids for all purchases requiring competitive bidding. Any special condition or requirement for the submission shall be specified in the advertisement for bids. The SFA is to provide documentation of the posting with the Step 2 documents. The menu submitted by the food service management company must include enough information for the sponsor and the state agency to determine that the menu is compliant with the dietary specifications. The menu must include the portion sizes for all food items, portion sizes for grains such as rice, pasta, and hot cereal are to be identified by volume measurement. Examples would be a half a cup, 1 cup, etc. Breads are to be identified by weight and include ounce equivalents. Solid meats are to be identified by weight and include ounce equivalents. Entrees that are portioned by volume measurement must include the volume measurement and all the crediting information for the item. A casserole is a good example. Vegetables, canned fruit, and fruit juice must be identified by volume measurement. Fresh fruit must be identified by piece and by volume measurement. Each food service management company must provide the SFA sponsor with a menu and menu certification documents utilizing dated 1-week menu that includes portion sizes from the 21-day cycle menu included in the proposal. The menu and menu certification documents must include all age and grade groups served. The menu must be developed in accordance with the provisions of 7 CFR Part 210.10. The menu certification documents must contain all required information needed for approval by the state agencies. Meals may not be served under this contract until the contract is approved by the state agency. Each food service management company must include the signed Buy American certification form with the proposal. If the school food authority awarding the contract notes that one food service management company submitting a proposal has no non-domestic food items listed and another has 25, the school food authority should question why. If one company is able to purchase a domestic product, other companies should be able to as well. Remember that food service management companies can change the menu to avoid the use of non-domestic products. In past years, many food service management companies have left these attachments blank. Our sponsors have requested to have both salary and benefit information for the food service management company employees to assist in evaluating the proposals they receive. If one food service management company is providing 5 employees and another is providing 6 employees, the sponsor may evaluate the one with 6 higher. Many sponsors want to see that the food service management company employees are receiving a living wage and that the company is offering benefits as well as what type of benefits. A company with better salaries and benefits may be scored higher because these are factors that affect employee retention and affects the stability of the operation. The information can be provided by position. The employee's name is not required. Bid bond. If a food service management company submit a proposal over $250,000, they must submit a bid bond in the amount that is not less than 5% and no more than 10% of the value of the contract for which the proposal is made, as determined by the sponsor and specified in the RFP. Food service management companies are prohibited from posing any alternative forms of bid bonds, and that's can be found on Memo FSSP 06-2019. Cash, certified checks, letters of credit, and escrow accounts are not acceptable substitutes for bid bonds. The bond must be from one of the surety companies listed in the most recent issue of the United States Department of Treasury, Circulars 570. Bid bonds must be provided to the state agency with the Step 2 documentation. Per SP 35-2016, The state agency has established bonding requirements for food service management company contracts. When a food service management company and a sponsor enter into one or more contracts exceeding $250,000, the sponsor shall obtain a performance bond from the chosen food service management company in the amount of 10% of the total value of the contract for which the proposal is made. The total value of the contract includes all programs the SFA plans to operate. If the food service management company enters into more than one contract with any one sponsor, the aggregate total of the contract exceeds $250,000, the food service management company shall obtain a performance bond covering all contracts. Food service management companies shall obtain performance bonds only from the companies listed in the current Department of Treasury Circular 570. No sponsor shall allow a food service management company to post any alternative forms of bid or performance bonds, including but not limited to cash, certified checks, letters of credit, or escrow accounts. The performance bond must be provided to the state agency as part of the Step 3 process. The state agency will not approve the food service management company contract without receiving a performance bond based on the value of the entire contract. The chosen food service management company must provide a certificate of insurance that indicates compliance with the RFP requirements. Insurance is required for the following: comprehensive general liability, automotive liability, and excess umbrella liability. The certificate of insurance must name the sponsor as an additional insured party on all policies. The food service management company must provide a waiver of subrogation in favor of the sponsor. A waiver of subrogation is an endorsement that prohibits an insurance carrier from recovering the money they paid on a claim from a negligent third party. The sponsor requires this endorsement from their food service management company to avoid being held liable for claims that occur on their job site. The insurance contract requires that the sponsor be notified of the cancellation of insurance policies at least 30 days before the cancellation of insurance. The certificate of insurance is submitted to the state agency with the Step 3 documents. The state agency will not approve the contract without receiving this document. Language has been added to the RFP contract to provide the food service management company with instructions on how to protest is to be conducted. The school food authority shall indicate the person the protest is to be sent to, along with the title and mailing address. The protest must be filled within 10 days after receiving the award notice. The protest must include the name, address, and telephone number of the protester, the signature of the protester or authorized representative, identification of purchasing agency and the solicitation or contract number, a detailed statement of the legal and factual grounds of the protest. Copies of relevant documents must also be included. And finally, the food service management company representative must provide the form of relief requested. The SFA must provide a written response within 30 days of receipt of the protest. A written response of the protest must be made within 30 days from receipt of the protest. Pending the results of the protest or appeal, the contract that has been awarded shall not be affected by the protest or appeal. Pending final determination of a protest or appeal, the validity of a contract awarded and accepted in good faith shall not be affected by the fact that a protest or appeal has been filed. The SFA, in all instances, disclose information regarding protests to the state agency. The state agency added several evaluation factors, including professional development for staff, lost accounts, experience of the regional or district manager, unit manager, and company dietitian and local procurement. The last two are optional. If the SFA makes the decision not to use the optional criteria, enter 0 on the form. The SFA must complete this form with the weight of each evaluation criteria, remembering that cost must be the primary factor. It is attachment BB of the FSMC proposal. The total possible points must equal 100. This document is to be provided to the state agency with step 1 documents. The state agency has also added attachment CC entitled Food Service Management Company's Proposal Summary. This form summarizes the proposal submitted by the Food Service Management Company. The Food Service Management Company completes the meal prices and years of experience and then writes a summary of their proposal in each area in a condensed form. This summary form, along with the proposal itself, is used by the SFA to evaluate each food service management company. Attachment DD is also completed by the Food Service Management Company. The company is to list all C&P accounts in Louisiana with the start date of July 1, 2017 and forward. The SFA name, address, contact person with telephone number is included along with the contract start date and contract end date. If the contract was terminated before the end of the 5-year period, the Food Service Management Company is to include the reason for termination. The contracting SFA is to communicate with other SFAs that have contracted with the Food Service Management Company concerning lost accounts and the use of information to evaluate their proposal. The Step 1 document can be found in the Food Service Management Company instructions for completing the RFP. The SFA completes and submits the original signed document to LDOE. Remember that all RFP contract documents must be signed by an employee of the organization that has been authorized to enter into contract on behalf of the SFA. This should be the person listed on the online application as the superintendent or authorized representative. Include the bid opening time, date, and address, and include the proposal award criteria form that includes the scoring weights of each evaluation criteria. After receipt of the completed signed Step 1 documents, the sponsor will receive written approval by the Department of Education to begin the contract process. The SFA must solicit proposals from an adequate number of known and qualified suppliers, at least 3 to 5 qualified suppliers. The proposed procurement must be publicly advertised twice in a regional news source. The first advertisement must be at least 21 days before the proposed opening date. The RFP is not to be advertised before state agency approval has been given. There have been several instances where the RFP has been advertised before state agency approval has been given, or where the SFA advertised only one time. If the SFA does not advertise according to the guidelines, the RFP must be re-advertised. All proposals received by the SFA must remain sealed and should be opened publicly at the time and place stated in the RFP. When awarding a food service management company contract, the SFA should appoint an evaluation team of at least 3 employees, preferably employees that are familiar with the child nutrition program. The contract must be awarded to the most responsible and responsive bidder with the lowest price. There must be transparency in the food service management company award process. The process and documents must be able to withstand public scrutiny. SFAs must be able to justify the award of the food service management company contract in sufficient detail that others would come to the same conclusion. Justification for scoring. The score for cost utilizes a formula for scoring the cost from each prospective contractor. The food service management company with the lowest cost receives the maximum number of points. To calculate the points for the other food service management companies, divide the lowest price by their price and multiply by the maximum number of points. Do not round. This contract is a fixed price contract. The food service management company may not charge the SFA any other fees than the mealtime the rate. No administrative, delivery, late fees, or other fees are allowable. The food service management company must propose a price based solely on the meal times the rate. The SFA must not sign any other contracts or agreements with the food service management company. If the SFA is using the prototype RFP as the food service management company contract, the food service management company or vendor may only charge the SFA for meals served, not delivered. This is stated in the prototype contract. The score for years of experience is based on the number of years the company has been in business. The maximum points for years of experience is 10. If a food service management company has been in business for 25 years, they can only receive a maximum of 10 points. The score for the financial conditions and stability. The committee member should review each food service management company's proposal, most recent audited financial statement, as well as the proposal and proposal summary to determine the score for the financial conditions and stability. Complete the justification for your scores. If adequate justification is not provided, the state agency will not approve the contract. The scoring for service capability plan must be based on how the food service management company demonstrates their ability to provide the services requested in the proposal, as well as verifiable proof that the food service management company has provided high quality service to other SFAs. The scoring committee must do some homework to accurately evaluate this area. Contact other SFAs that utilize the food service management company. You can also request copies of student surveys and advisory committee reports, participation reports, and the results of administrative reviews. Were there any findings on the review that attributed to the food service management company? Find out from other SFAs whether the food service management company was able to increase student participation. Increased participation means that students like the food and service. If the food service management company was unable to increase student participation or participation decreases, there may be issues with the food service management company's ability to provide the required service. This table represents the November 2020 and November 2021 claims for one of the charter schools in Louisiana. The students expressed their dissatisfaction with the meals that the food service management company was providing last year. As a result, the school went out to bid and chose another food service management company that they hoped would increase student satisfaction, or as I like to call it, customer satisfaction and increase meal participation. I've received very good feedback from the SFA concerning their new food service management company and wanted to see how much participation had increased. In comparing the November claims for 2020 and 2021, the lunch participation increased by 7.45%, and breakfast participation increased by 13.58%. How has the participation increased or decreased with each food service management company that has submitted a proposal to your RFP? You want to see an increase in participation during their contract with other school food authorities. You definitely don't want to see a decrease in participation. This is a sure sign that students do not like the meals they are being served. Ask other SFAs to review a summary of the student surveys they have conducted. We know every student is wanting steak and shrimp on the menu, but you can get an overall sense of how satisfied the students are with the food they're being served by reviewing the surveys. Each SFA that has a food service management company must have an advisory committee. What recommendations are the committee making to other SFAs and to the food service management company? These reports should be readily available from other SFAs. The Documented Advisory Committee meeting recommendations and action by the School Food Authority and the Food Service Management Company are requirements of the Child Nutrition Program. The School Food Authority committee members should research how each food service management company scores on health inspections in the schools they operate. You can access this information by using the link on this slide or by searching Eat Safe Louisiana Inspections. Your SFA should ensure that the food service management company keeps their kitchens clean and follows all the safety and sanitation regulations required by LDH. The managers must have passed the Serve Safe or other equivalent course to be certified. As stated earlier, continuous failure to meet health inspection requirements as represented by LDH findings during school inspections or food service management company facility inspections, such as in central kitchens, is a ground for termination of the contract and exclusion from the consideration for future RFPs. The inspection example on this slide indicates that the food service management company is not keeping a clean sanitary kitchen. Many of the violations are related to areas of the kitchen that are not clean. Some of the violations are due to poor maintenance on the part of the school itself. The last violation indicates that the food service management company began operations before obtaining a permit to operate. The SFA must not allow food to be prepared without having a valid permit to operate in the name of the food service management company. Child Nutrition Program regulations do not allow any meals to be claimed in any child nutrition program without a valid permit to operate. Does the food service management company proposal state that they encourage the use of commodities? Many food service management companies don't like to deal with commodities because there is a lot of paperwork involved. Some of the SFAs don't like using them for the same reason. If you, as the SFA, are not receiving commodities, you are leaving money on the table and doing a disservice to your students. Commodities decrease the cost of the food served to students, so it also decreases the price of the students have to pay. The food service management company may be charging the SFA $3.30 for each meal, but the commodity credits may amount to 20 to 30 cents per meal. That amount is deducted from the bill from the food service management company, and it can be a sizable amount. It is fiscally irresponsible for a SFA not to take advantage of commodities. The statements on this slide are part of the prototype food service management contract. The first statement is SFAs are expected to apply for and utilize commodities. The purchase of commercial products when USDA donated foods are available would render the commercial purchase of these items as unreasonable and unnecessary and contributes to a higher cost for student meals. The second statement is that the food service management company shall accept and use USDA donated foods in as large of quantities as may be efficiently utilized in SFA's nonprofit food service, subjected to approval of the SFA. A proposal from the food service management company that places any restrictions on the use of commodities must be considered a non-responsive proposal and must not receive an award. The SFA will rate the food service management company based on its plan for promoting the program. I can see from scoring weights in new RFPs that many school food authorities do not consider promotion of the program as an important factor. Promotion of the program is a key element to running a child nutrition program. It is your bread and butter because this is where the money comes from to support the program. Just like a restaurant, your program has to be promoted. There are so many unique educational and fun things that a food service management company can do that will promote the program and hopefully increase both participation and satisfaction. Many food service management companies are providing educational signage in the cafeterias. Some are installing closed circuit televisions with nutritional messages and upcoming menus. There are also some that are advertising menus on Facebook and other social media platforms. Some are conducting nutritional activities such as promotions of the month, culinary exhibits, and participation in farm and school activities. Find out how each food service management company plans to participate in wellness activities. How does the food service management company plan to participate and respond to the advisory committee's feedback concerning food service? These are all important things to look at when evaluating proposals. As I said, these are the things that count. These are the things that grow the food service program. It is a win-win for all. The students have high quality food and want to eat the meals. We know that when they are eating healthy food and eating breakfast, student grades improve. It's a win-win for the SFA because parents and teachers like the food service, so there are less complaints and parents don't have to pack a lunch for the child. When students want to eat the meals, the food service management company makes more money and the SFA makes more money. This slide identifies 4 required components of a wellness policy. Each school must have an active wellness program. The food service management company can have a direct impact on the first 2 components, nutrition education and nutrition promotion. The food service management company can promote healthy eating and provide nutrition education with signage, creative menus, posters, bulletin boards, and social media. They can participate in farm to school activities, school gardens, and offer taste testing to students. They can agree to place fruits and vegetables where they are easy to access. They can share nutrition, calorie, and sodium content information with students and families. The SFA and the Food Service Management Company should continually be evaluating new ways to market and promote the school meals program. As an SFA, it is important to find out how responsive each food service management company team has been to other SFAs in participating in their wellness program. Evaluate what type of support and participation that each food service management company provides. If you think about it, the food service management company is one of the main players in complying with your wellness policy. Professional development for staff is also one of the evaluation criteria. What is each food service management company's plan for providing the required professional development training for their staff and maintaining documentation? What internal controls does each food service management company have in place to ensure employees receive the required training? There have been several SFAs written up on administrative review because the food service management company did not provide the required number of hours of training or did not maintain proper documentation of the training. It is obvious from reviewing health inspections from some of the SFAs with food service management companies that food safety and HACCP training need to be a higher priority for SFAs. SFAs need to be monitoring and the sanitation in the kitchen of their schools as well as any off-site kitchens. They should be requiring the food service management company to provide a copy of all health inspections for both. The School Food Authority must maintain all health inspections for the site they operate and maintain on file for the state agency and/or USDA to review. They must also maintain copies of the health inspections of off-site kitchens where their food is being prepared. USDA regulation requires that professional development records list the employee's name, the employer or school, the training title, topics and objectives, training source, dates, and total training hours be maintained. These records may be kept electronically in a local database, in paper files, or through a tracking tool such as the USDA tracking tool or the Pennington tracking tool. If this information is not captured for each employee for each training, the SFA will receive a finding on their administrative review. USDA regulations concerning required professional standards applies to all school nutrition employees, whether the SFA operates the school nutrition program or contracts with the food service management company. Compliance with the required professional standards is included as a part of the administrative review. The number of annual training hours required each year varies by job category, as you can see from the chart on this slide. Training must be job specific and intended to help employees perform their duties well. Remember that the food service management company's staff are required to have the same number of training hours as the SFA staff. Another evaluation criteria that has been added is lost accounts. Each food service management company submitting a proposal must complete attachment DD, the summary of accounts. The food service management company lists all of the contracts they have held since July 1st of 2017. The start date and end date of the contract must be included, and the food service management company must include a reason for the contract termination. The SFA should contact all SFAs that ended the contract before the 5-year expiration to obtain their reason for terminating the contract. It is a good idea to contact SFAs that are still utilizing the food service management company to obtain references. The score for each food service management company is based off of the findings as a result of contacting the SFAs. The SFA is to include this information when providing the Step 2 documentation to the state agency. The food service management company must include all lost accounts and the reason for termination. Failure to do so will render the food service management company's proposal as non-responsive. The SFA may want to evaluate the experience of district manager, account manager, and dietitian working with the child nutrition programs. This evaluation factor is optional, but it is also important. The food service management company is only as good as the people working closely with the SFA. What kind of experience do they have in working with child nutrition programs? Working in hotels, colleges, or hospitals is much different than child nutrition. Local procurement is also an optional evaluation factor. An increasing number of child nutrition program operators want to source local foods and provide complementary educational activities that emphasize food, agricultural, and nutrition while supporting the local economy and farmers. Including local procurement and advertising to students through education or other activities can enhance the program and encourage students to eat your meals. You must provide adequate justification to award the contract to a food service management company. The state agency has not been receiving detailed justification for awarding the food service management company over another. As you can see through the information provided in this training, choosing the right food service management company for your SFA requires some work. Again, as a committee, you must be able to answer yes to this question. If anyone else were to review your food service management company's proposal, proposal summary, and scorecard, would they come to the same conclusion? If not, you have not provided adequate justification, and the state agency will return the scoring forms to the SFA. This could postpone the award of the contract. The SFA committee will come to a consensus score and submit only one scorecard aid to the state agency. Each committee member must sign scorecard A. There should be at least 3 members on the committee. The next document that must be completed is Form B. This is the scoring summary. The scores are transferred to scorecard B from each scorecard A. The contract is awarded to the food service management company with the highest score. The form must be signed by the head of the RFP committee. The next document that must be completed is Form C, the Consolidated Proposal Summary. The SFA is to provide the fixed price per lunch meal equivalent, the total estimated amount of the bid, and the total points received by each vendor. All employees participating in the procurement of the food service management contract process must sign the standards of conduct and certification statement. The SFA must maintain the forms on file for the duration of the contract. Ensure the certification regarding debarment, suspension, ineligibility, and voluntarily exclusion (USDA) has been signed before awarding the contract. Also, make sure the SFA has received the signed certification regarding lobbying and the disclosure of lobbying activities form. Execute the independent price determination certificate and maintain these documents on file. Documents to be submitted include the signed Step 2 documents, the completed Scorecard A, the completed Scorecard B, and the consolidated summary Form C. The SFA must also submit copies of all correspondence with the food service management companies concerning the RFP. A signed copy of the contract before execution must be submitted. The SFA can sign the contract document, but must not provide the food service management company until approval of the contract is received by the state agency. Each food service management company proposal received by the SFA must be provided to the state agency. Provide the state agency with all documents received by other SFAs concerning lost accounts. The SFA must have documentation for all lost accounts for each food service management company. The state agency must be provided with the USB containing a copy of the completed proposal and all required attachments from each food service management company that submitted a proposal. Menu certification. Remember that each proposal must submit a 1-week menu and menu certification for all grade groups served. The menu certification must be submitted to the state agency with the Step 2 documentation. The menu certification may be included in the food service management company's proposal. The SFA must review the menu certifications for accuracy. After the state agency has informed the sponsor that the Step 2 documents are approved, the sponsor can inform the winning food service management company of their intent to award the contract to the food service management company. At that time, the food service management company must provide the sponsor with a certificate of insurance and performance bond. The sponsor may not award the bid until written approval is received by the state agency. The school food authority may not claim meals for reimbursement served by the company until the contract is approved. This is a USDA regulation and must be followed. The SFA is legally responsible for the conduct of the food service program and must supervise the food service operation in such a manner as will ensure compliance with the rules and regulations of the state agency and USDA regarding each of the child nutrition programs covered by the contract. The SFA is responsible for ensuring that all corrections have been made if problems were noted during the sponsor review, the Louisiana Department of Education administrative review, or a program audit. Too often, the SFA turns the management of the food service operation to a food service management company and/or consultant. The SFA must remember that they are 100% responsible for the food service program, and the responsibility cannot be delegated to a food service management company or consultant. The 21-day cycle menu, which is included in the RFP, must be adhered to for the first 21 days of meal service. After that, changes may be made only with written approval of the sponsor. The written request by the food service management company to change the menu must be accompanied by an updated nutrition analysis. The school food authority must receive the updated analysis before approving menu changes. The analysis must show that the menu is in compliance with USDA regulations. The SFA is to maintain all menu change approvals and analysis on file. The SFA is also responsible for ensuring that all menu requirements are met and only reimbursable meals are served and claimed. The SFA must make sure that all meals claimed are reimbursable. The SFA is responsible for certifying that the claim is correct. They must also make certain that the food production records are completed each day for all reimbursable meals. The completed food production records must provide all information that is contained in the LDOE prototype food production record, regardless of whether they are completed by hand or computer generated. All meals must meet the detailed specifications for the grade groups being served. No payment is to be made to the food service management company for meals that do not meet the minimum component requirements, quantity requirements, vegetable subgroup requirements, and nutrient specifications for the age and grade group served. The sponsor should be monitoring the menu used by the food service management company to ensure that they are meeting the required specifications. There have been many findings during the administrative reviews where the food service management company is not meeting the minimum requirements, particularly quantity requirements and vegetable subgroup requirements. The food service management company must also provide an updated nutrient analysis to the SFA when menu changes are made to ensure that nutrient specifications are being met. The food service management company must provide the SFA with documentation of food costs and revenues on a monthly basis and must include food costs for reimbursable meals, food costs for non-program foods, revenue from non-program foods, revenue from program foods, and total revenue. This information is needed by the SFA to complete the non-program revenue tool. The sponsor must monitor the food service program through periodic on-site visits, including at least one on-site review of the lunch counting and claiming at each school administered by the SFA. These visits must be documented and kept on file for administrative reviews. The on-site counting and claiming review must take place prior to February 1st of each year. If the review discloses problems with the school's meal counting and claiming procedures, the SFA must ensure that the school implements corrective action and within 45 days of the review, conducts a follow-up on-site review to determine that the corrective action resolved the problem. In compliance with 2 CFR 200.420-475, compensation of employees for the time devoted and identified to school food service. The SFA must have documentation of how an employee's time working the child nutrition program is calculated. For example, the director of operation has many functions. Only a small part of their day is spent working in child nutrition program, especially if they employ a food service management company and a consultant. This documentation needs to be available in accordance with the agreement to operate the USDA programs at all times for audit or reviews. The only time the SFA should see non-domestic agricultural products being purchased by the food service management company is when a domestic product is not available or when the price of domestic product is substantially higher than the non-domestic product. Many domestic canned and frozen fruits and vegetables are available, with the exception of some tropical varieties like bananas, pineapple, mandarin oranges, etc. Some domestically grown fresh fruits and vegetables are available seasonally. If the SFA responsibility to know what agricultural products are available from the U.S. before approving exceptions. If assistance is needed, please contact the state agency. Termination language was added to the RFP to cover a severe breach of contract that would warrant immediate termination of the contract by the SFA upon written notification to the food service management company. The severe breach of contract would include failure to maintain and enforce required standards of sanitation, failure to maintain proper insurance coverage as outlined by the contract, failure to provide required information in the required time frame outlined in the RFP, or failure to maintain quality of service at a level satisfactory to the SFA sponsor. Please be aware that failure to meet health inspections as represented by LDH findings during the school site visits or inspections or other food facilities under the food service management company or vendor is not only grounds for termination of the contract, but may exclude the food service management company or vendor from consideration in future RFPs or contracts. The SFA is also responsible for making sure all bills are monitored prior to payment to assure that the food service management company has not double billed or included costs that are not allowed by the contract. Invoices must reflect only the number of meals times the contract rate. Second meals, adults, and visitors are also charged at the contract rate. The SFA is responsible for ensuring that the advisory committee of parents, students, and teachers has met periodically to assist in menu planning and meetings are documented. The food service management company director should be included in the advisory committee meetings and be responsive to the concerns of the committee. As stated before, the SFA is responsible for ensuring that all SFA and food service management company staff have received the required number of professional development hours. Sorry, hold on a second. Remember that food service management companies won't receive the finding, the consultants won't receive the finding. The SFA will be the one receiving the finding on administrative review if these requirements aren't met. If you have any questions, please contact the Division of Nutrition Support at 225-342-9661, or you can email childnutritionprograms@la.gov. I want to thank everyone for attending today's training. And if you have any questions, like I said, email the Child Nutrition Programs at la.gov or call us at 225-342-9661. Thanks and have a great day.